Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's call the public hearing to order. I have a brief statement to read. This council meeting is being convened in order to hold public hearings on land use matters. The public and anyone who believes that their interest in property is affected by the agenda items may speak or present written submissions to council. Everyone will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard at the hearing. No one should feel discouraged from making their views known. Those of you who wish to speak or have registered with the city clerk should, after being recognized by the chair, begin by clearly stating your name and your address. If you have also provided a written submission, please make this known at the beginning of your presentation. All written submissions will be retained by the city clerk and form part of the record of the hearing. Each speaker may address the hearing a maximum of twice. The length of your first presentation will be limited to a maximum of 10 minutes. Your comments must be relevant and not obstruct the hearing. Any additional presentation, which must be on new information, will be limited to 3 minutes. Members of council may ask questions of you following your presentation. However, the function of council members during a public hearing is to listen to the views of the public, not to debate the merits of the matters with citizens. Any debate by members of council will occur at the subsequent vote. So the order of proceeding will normally be as follows. Firstly, the city clerk will briefly describe the matter under consideration. Then the applicant or their agent will be invited to make a brief presentation. The city clerk will then identify any written submissions received. Fourthly, oral submissions from the public will be heard, and further written submissions, if any, will be received. And finally, the hearing will be closed and matters may be considered. Please note that the delegations must present in a respectful manner without interference or comment from the audience. City Council is committed to ensuring a safe and respectful environment and supports the right of the community to bring comments forward. Please observe these rules, and if you have any concerns with the manner in which the hearing is being conducted, direct your comments to the chair. So, Mr. Clerk, first item.
Thank you, Your Worship. The first item is Official Community Plan Bylaw 7100 and 9000, Amendment Bylaw 10213, and Richmond Zoning Bylaw 8500, Amendment Bylaw 10212. The location is 7780, 7800, 7804, 7820, and 7840 River Road. The applicant is Urban Solutions Architecture Limited. And the purpose of the OCP designation amendment is to clarify the city's intent regarding the coordination of dike improvements with private development within the city center and to relocate park, road, pedestrian linkage, and commercial land designations at the site's north end and along the adjacent dike. And the purpose of the zoning amendment is to rezone the subject property from auto-oriented commercial to a new site-specific zone, high-rise riverfront commercial, Aberdeen Village City Center, to permit development of an 11-story hotel with 183 guest rooms, an 8-story office building, ground floor retail and restaurant uses, and underground parking, together with associated off-site improvements, including dike upgrades and the extension of River Parkway between Cambie Road and the site's north boundary, a new east-west street linking the River Parkway extension with existing River Road north of the site, related landscape improvements, and utility upgrades. First reading was February 13th, 2023.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is Urban Solutions Architecture Limited, is anyone here? Now, did you want to make a presentation or just await questions?
No, Mayor and Council. We'll just be here to answer questions. Thank you very much.
All right. Any written submissions?
None, Your Worship.
Okay, is there anybody here wishing to speak to this item on the agenda? Anybody here?
There's second and third of 102.
Mayor Brody.
I'm sorry. Councillor Day, yes, you had a question? Sorry.
He put his hand up.
What? Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh, if you wish to speak,
Just come.
come forward. Just come forward.
Sure.
Introduce yourself.
All the councillor.
Please have a seat.
Okay, sure.
Introduce yourself.
Hi.
And tell us what you're on your mind.
Hi, Mayor and all the councillor. My name is Jack Chan. I'm one of the owner of the 7850 River Road. We've been there for 30 years. Just received a notice from the city. They're going to have a rezoning and for 11-story buildings. I want to know when are they going to start to build and what kind of impact for the surrounded property. Because I still have a tenants operating a business over there. Want to know a little bit more information. That's why I want to ask. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to us on this item on the agenda? Maybe we should have why don't you come on forward, the representatives for the application. Now, if you could introduce yourself and have a seat, introduce yourself, and just, if you want to answer the questions that was just posed. When is the project going to start? Impact on neighbors, et cetera.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Donald Yen. I'm the principal of Urban Solutions Architecture. And sitting next to me is Mr. Paul Williams, who's the project manager for our client, GEC.
All right.
To answer the question here is we will have to go through our development permit process and building permit process, which we know will take a certain amount of time to go through. So construction will be only imminent after those periods.
All right.
And, sorry, what's the other question?
The other one was impact on the neighbors.
Impact on neighborhood. Well, any new development will probably have a little bit of construction activity going on in that area. But after that, I think the road system and the park system will be an enhancement to the neighborhood.
All right. Okay, we'll let you go then. Maybe what you could do is have a chat with these folks here. Okay? Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Is there anybody else you want to speak to this item? Okay, come forward. I'm just surprised because you didn't answer the call. Have a seat.
My apologies. Good evening, everyone, Councillor, Mayor. My name is Joseph Jakubowski. I'm, you could say, one of the tenants farther up the road at 7860 Richmond Academy of Dance. So similar to our neighbor here, been in that location for over 20 years. And I'm happy to share, actually, that I have been approached by one of the architects, or maybe it was Mr. Williams as the project manager on this project, and they've actually shared the drawings. So it was very neighborly and forthright on their part. But similar to an earlier point mentioned, and I can't really say that this is a little bit of construction. I'm familiar with the construction industry. I know what happens. But that's not the point here. What we'd like to know, and if it's possible to see the phasing of the actual activities in the area in terms of the access. As I understand, River Road will be closed, and there'll be an extension of the parkway with a transfer route back onto River Road, which I would assume is to the properties that currently have their front door facing River Road. So aligned with the construction, a little bit more detail. And in terms of the question of DP, BP, start of construction, is there a potential time frame that we can be looking at to prepare for this in terms of years and dates?
We'll see if we can get you an answer or two on that, but like the previous person, you may want to speak to the applicants directly about it as well.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Now, to staff, can someone talk about the phasing of this project?
Through your worship, the project, as we understand it, is going to be constructed in one phase. So it has one comprehensive parking structure under the building that relies on 2 parking access points. And so there may be possibilities that the hotel or the office may be completed first, but basically all of the construction will happen at one time.
Okay, the second question that was asked by this last gentleman was about going through the process. My experience is it could take a year or two to get through that kind of a process, but, you know, that's just generally.
Yes, through your worship, in terms of should the rezoning proceed tonight, there is a requirement for a development permit and a servicing agreement for the road and dike construction. In terms of the critical timing, it is likely the engineering work related to the dike improvement and road constructions. I would say that a year is probably in reason for those approvals. As part of the development permit, we will provide further information in terms of road construction and phasing in response to the delegations tonight and concerns over the closure of River Road and the implementation of River Parkway and the connection to River Road.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to us on this item? I'm sorry, you've got a question,
Yeah.
Councillor McNulty?
Yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Greg. How will these folks get to know that? You expect the developer to tell them what's happening along the way, or will the city contact these people that are interested?
Through your worship to Councillor McNulty, staff are happy to be in touch with any of the people that have delegated here tonight. I will provide them with my contact information following the meeting. In terms of the development permit process, anyone that received mail notification for tonight's meeting would also receive mail notification for the development permit panel meeting, where the detailed information on construction phasing and road closures would be provided.
Okay, great, thank you.
Councillor Day?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Brody. I had a couple of questions. I'm looking at PH 29, and it shows the hotel structure, and then there's a parking lot right up on the dike. And during our previous presentations, there was actually an option to have like a public area there, and it was going to have a park for children to play and people to sit and drink coffee and whatnot. And it just seems to me that area right on top of the dike is too beautiful to just be a parking lot. Could we just orientate all the parking underneath the building?
Suzanne? Hang on, push your button there, Suzanne.
Is it okay to? Through your worship to Councillor Day, I think that the parking lot that you can see in the drawing on page 29 is actually the existing parking lot that Skyline Marina has. So as you have suggested, that parking lot will go away in the future when Skyline Marina's property is upgraded by the owner of that property.
Okay, that's good. My next question was regarding Skyline Marina. It's a very busy marina, one of the last few that are left in Richmond. I would be very concerned about any kind of construction delays or construction work that would impede that business. Because I understand we have to move the driveway in order for them to have access to the property. Is that right?
Through your worship to Councillor Day, Skyline Marina has multiple parking lots with multiple driveway entrances. So one of those driveway entrances is going to be affected by the construction. And through our servicing agreement work, there will be coordination done with a traffic management plan to ensure that access to the marina and the marina businesses suffer as little interruption as possible.
Okay, and my last question is, so the road right now goes along, I'm trying to think which is the best map. River Road goes along, and right now all those businesses are facing River Road. Of course, we're going to get rid of the section of River Road where this development is, and then divert River Road around the development and then back to the riverside. So it's just kind of a silly question, but none of those businesses at this time will have to orientate their businesses towards the new road that one day will go through. Everything remains status quo for the businesses in existence now.
Worship to Councillor Day, that's correct.
Yeah, and then down the road, if those properties were to be redeveloped, then at that time we would orientate things towards the new road. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, so I will call the question on second and third reading. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's carried.
Second and third on the 10212.
Okay, so that's moved and seconded. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Then to the other item, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. Item number 2 is temporary commercial use permit, TU 23009170. The location is 8991 Charles Street. The applicant is DA Architects and Planners. And the purpose is to extend the existing temporary commercial use permit to permit vehicle rental convenience use limited to the storage of rental vehicles only, with no associated buildings and no public access as a site-specific additional use.
All right, the applicant is DA Architects and Planners. Now, we have on Zoom Randy Neal, who I take it you're affiliated with the applicant?
Yes, I'm applying on their behalf.
All right. Do you have a presentation or are you just awaiting questions?
Well, there's not, I can make a very short presentation, is that this is a renewal of a very simple temporary use permit that expired a few days ago, and we're asking for it to be extended for another 3 years. And it's just to amend the use of the land to allow parking for rental vehicles.
All right. Are there any written submissions?
None, your worship.
All right, there's nobody here wanting to speak
There's
to
a
us.
recommendation.
Moved and seconded, discussion on that. All those in favor? Any opposed? That is
Adjournment.
carried. We are now adjourned.